I would say those two words, patience and persistence. It's going to take time and it's going to suck, but you just have to push through the suck. For me personally, it was somebody pushing me past what I thought was my limits. And I had made up in my mind that a certain level was all that I could get. And working with you, it basically showed me that that's not it and helped me start to really push. And I would say that like the collaborative effort just gave me the motivation to push back what I thought my limits were.
Look, man, I know it was a tough journey for you. You were busy, man. Like you had a lot, but you didn't give up. And I'm super proud of you for that, because it could have been really easy to do that. You kept at it and you did some really hard things that most athletes won't do, getting outside your comfort zone. So let's talk about what you've been doing.
Yeah, so pretty much I'd spent a lot of my time utilizing email and Twitter DM and basically was contacting hundreds of coaches at hundreds of schools. And I was having some responses. I picked up quite a few offers, but my goal was to play D1 the whole time. So that's when you told me that what I needed to do is go straight there, go to them and tell them what I want and see me and see how dedicated I am to wanting to pursue my dream and stuff.
So important, man. Where did you end up getting an offer from?
So it was Incarnate Word. Yeah,
Okay,
University
awesome.
of Incarnate Word in San Antonio.
And that was a school that you were eyeing from the very beginning, right?
Yeah, they were on my big board from like way back when I started. So
Dude, I'm so excited for you. So walk me through how you did it.
I texted his number and I sent him emails, and I did that probably 2 or 3 days. He didn't respond to me until after spring break, which that was a full week after, but he then told me that he liked my tape and he wanted to have a conversation with me over the phone.
Beautiful. Okay, so what happened after? Because I know you and I were communicating a little bit there as well. What happened after?
I really had to play like the waiting game, you know, like I was just, it felt, the recruiting process is harsh and it felt like a lot of these other endeavors had felt, but the text that I sent him, I wasn't asking for anything. I literally just told him, I was like, hey, I am confident enough in my film and that's all I'm asking is that you watch it. And
So good, man. It's like, hey, I'm not asking for an offer. I'm not asking for, a spot. I wasn't asking for 1 to 2 minutes of your time just to watch this video.
Yeah.
And if you want a coach to watch your video, that's a great way to do it. So then what happened?
So he watched it and he straight up told me, like, he didn't waste any time. He told me that he thought that there was a spot for me. And I was like, it was like out of nowhere, because it had been a full week. And he told me that, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, whoa, I mean, this got popped up out of nowhere. And I asked him like then and there, I was like, hey, like, how soon can we call? I told him I was available all week, and I followed up with today or tomorrow work for him, and he told me tomorrow. And so then we got on call that next day. So
dude, I'm so proud of you, bro. Like the confidence level, like when you had sent me that text, like I had wrote like, oh, maybe say this, and what you said was great. And I was like, damn, Keats gets it. Where do you feel like you've grown the most over the past 6 months? Because we kind of started working together pretty late in the game for you, right? Yeah. But where do you feel like you've grown the most?
Truthfully, just like not letting anything embarrass me, and like learning how to be not like a salesperson in the sense that I'm selling you a product, but I'm selling myself. And I honestly think that more than anything football wise, that this will help me get a job someday. And so yeah,
the hardest product to sell is yourself, because if you're selling a widget, or if I'm selling AirPods, for example, like if the customer says, no, I'm not interested, then it's like, whatever. But you're selling yourself, they're not interested in you, right? Yeah. And that's a hard pill. And you, Keats, more than anyone, have dealt with a lot of rejection, man. Yeah. A lot. Like I remember when we had that one coach where they were like going to offer you and then completely just ghosted you. And I know you've been through quite a bit and a lot of rejection. Mm-hmm. How do you feel that's helped you?
Honestly, it's taught me a lot about patience. And I really think it's helped put into perspective that like the first thing you see isn't going to be the best thing. And if you are dedicated enough that even if it doesn't pick you, you can still go get what you want. So,
love that, man. Listen, and you getting there is just the beginning too. Like you're going to do so awesome there, man. I'm so super proud of you, dude. I just can't, I had to jump on with you when I saw your message.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel like you can use this, what you've learned in the recruiting process?
Without a doubt, none of, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm going to make a blanket assumption that none of the kids that are on the roster have had to work as hard for the spot as I did. And so the way that I see it is that if you did not work me there, you're not going to outwork me once we get to the field.
Yeah. One of the most uncomfortable things to do is to role play, especially if you're like a little shy or you're not comfortable. And how do you feel like role playing had an effect on you?
I think it definitely helped once it just became muscle memory. It wasn't to go up and you're basically reading off of a script, but you're not. You're just trying to sound confident, and just getting it in your head and like doing it over and over again really helps, so that once you get there, like you look like you've been there, like you're not like, you don't look nervous. Yeah.
Oh, I love that, man. Keats, now that you've been through the process and you're on the other side, it's the most amazing feeling in the world.
Yeah.
What advice would you offer to, 2025s? and 26 guys that are like where you were, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to them?
I would say start right now. One major thing that I ran into is that I was already midway through my season whenever I started like trying to promote myself and stuff. And I would say start early. Don't neglect lower levels. Like, sure, that may not be where you want to end up, but the only way to truly get the attention of higher levels, you have to move up the chain. Not everybody is born a D1 athlete, and that's not all they're going to see. Everyone that I've seen has received some D3, some NAIA, some D2, and then with patience and with persistence, paved their own way to seeing a D1. And so I would say those two words, patience and persistence. It's going to take time and it's going to suck, but you just have to push through the suck.
Yeah. It's so true, man. It's tough. Like I always try to tell athletes, like, look, unless you're in the ESPN 300 or the 247 100, you know what I mean? Like it's a grind, man. You're becoming a marketer and a salesperson, and you're selling yourself, and it's very hard, and you're gonna have to deal with a lot of rejection. You're gonna constantly be outside your comfort zone, and you know, it's how bad do you want it? You know, we started working together late in the game for you, and I think your advice of starting early, you know, every senior we work with is like, man, I wish I would have started when I was a sophomore. I wish I would have really started when I was younger. What did you like most about working together?
For me personally, it was somebody pushing me past what I thought was my limits. And like I had really hit kind of a sense of complacency as far as recruiting was concerned. I had made up in my mind that a certain level was all that I could get. And working with you and the other guys basically showed me that that's not it. We had somebody in our group that like really proved that to me and helped me start to really push. And so I would say that like the collaborative effort just gave me the motivation to push back what I thought my limits were.
Dude, that's so amazing, brother. I'm so happy for you. You deserve it. You busted your tail off. You did the things that 99.99% of athletes won't do. And you deserve it, man. So wishing you absolutely nothing but success, and congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Richie.